Can you hear me? Does it?
Yes.
Check up?
Yeah, it's picking up.
Don't go anywhere. That thing's been fucked up for a whole day.
Okay, so did you student teach? Obviously, you student taught here.
Yes, you're fine.
You had Beth Tatum. What was that like?
I split time between her and this woman named Patty, and it was, I don't know, it was weird because I didn't go to school in a place like Athens, and they had me teach like all seniors and struggling learners, and it was really difficult because, like class would start and it was just mayhem. This one guy would like show up on any given day like drunk and pass out like underneath the table in the corner and stuff, and I would just be like, what am I supposed to do about that, stuff like that. And then I had a class of all kids who had failed in like 9th grade English before, and like I really liked them all, but like I was like, what do you do when a kid misses 30 days of school, and it's like totally unpredictable, and they walk in and go, yeah, I've been out for 2 weeks, like what did I miss? Stuff like that. So it was just tough. It was hard, and to be honest, they didn't really support me at all. They just kind of like said, here, these are your classes, and then when I came to them with questions, they said, stop complaining and just do your best, because they didn't want to deal with it. I'm just being honest.
Do you think that's because you're splitting time, or do you think it's just because they had so much on their plate?
I think it's threefold. I think that they were tired of me. I think that they didn't really want to deal with those classes, and they figured the only way I would learn anything was by my own devices. So I think that they thought they were doing me a favor, and maybe they did. I don't know.
How old were you when you were student teaching?
I was 20 when it started.
Do you think that affected like the way that you
totally.
felt comfortable in front of the seniors?
Yeah, nobody took me seriously, and I had no sense of what being a professional was. I still don't. So.
Why did you decide to be a mentor teacher this year?
It's fun. It's fun is what it comes down to. It's fun to have another person like working with the kids in the classroom. Like it's not like I've never looked at it as like, okay, this is your class, I'm gonna go sit in the library for the year. I did that with one student teacher because having me there just didn't work, and she was fine, she just didn't realize it. And then one dude kind of wanted me gone, and then but since those were the first two I had, and then since then I just pretty much just co-teach. But like you're responsible for the planning, but it's like fun to come up with new ideas and implement them. Then I don't stick to just what I know. So.
Do you think that having a student teacher helps you?
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's like certainly. I mean, you can split up the workload. Like I don't enjoy lesson planning as much as I used to. I enjoy working with people, I guess, more than like I don't like going home and coming up with new ideas. I don't have time. So, but it's fun to watch somebody work through that now. So yeah, it certainly helps.
How would you describe yourself as a teacher in terms of like philosophies and goals and stuff?
Student-centered, in the sense that like not everyone learns the same, and so just always doing different things to get ideas out of people. Flexible, not authoritarian, but still in control. I don't know. My goals really like have nothing to do so much with the curriculum, even though I have to present it that way. It's just more like, will they be good people? Will they grow as thinkers, readers, writers in some capacity?
Do you think that your thinking has changed since you student taught?
Yeah, because I think then it was like, let's create 90 little versions of yourself, and that's a terrible way to look at it. That's a terrible way to look at it, so, yeah.
How do you think your students see you as a teacher?
I really don't know. I really don't care. I really don't know. I would think that they would say that I'm mostly laid back, but like that you have to take care of the basics in order to get that out of me, and if you're not, that's like then I have to be very serious, um, and that uh, yeah, something like that, like mostly laid back, but like don't not just not do things because then he gets difficult in terms of how he chooses to address you and deal with stuff.
So you did your student teaching here, and now you're teaching here. Could you see yourself anywhere else?
Sure.
Attention
I just
please,
don't have time
Joshua
to
Sampson,
think
please
about
call
it.
extension 21211.
I mean, I don't know where I would go or what I would do. It's not really something I have time to think about. So.
Do you think working in a Title I school like wears you down?
It can, but it doesn't. The hard. I don't have that problem right now because I have easily the not Title I students right now, right? But yeah, it can wear you down. Like yesterday, the school was just batshit crazy with girl drama, and it's the same group of kids that are in the halls all day, and just between every class there was some other incident, and whereas my even fifth period they try to creep out the door. I go, even one person creeps out that door, the whole class has detention. I make a veiled threat like that I obviously can never follow up on, and they all sit down, crap like that. So I don't have the problems that other people are dealing with. So it's hard for me to say. It only wears me down in the sense that it's just like all this crap going on around me right now, and I'm like, I don't even know the kids. What can I do about it? And I have to be so busy all the time that I can't really stop to address people. And when I do, it sucks because it's just like talking to a brick wall when I am generally speaking to pretty dynamic individuals all day. Like if I even stop one child in the hallway over, why are you not in class? It's like 10 minutes of my life being just sucked out of me, out of my soul, because I haven't dealt with that all day. So.
How do you manage stress and balance work with your personal life?
I really don't want to talk to that kid. He's gone crazy. He's another kid that's lost his mind. How do I manage stress and personal life with work? Is that what it was? By coaching cross country, having some kind of outlet at the end of the day, and being around kids in a setting that they want to be there and exercising and stuff like that. And then I go home and work until I go to bed, and it sucks. But
do you think coaching helps you at school too?
yes, yeah. The year I started doing that, I became a much better teacher. Big time better. Just in terms of giving instructions, giving orders, not taking crap from people, stopping the excuse train, but also in learning to observe when a gain or a leap is being made. One thing I realized was, I think I was saying this last week, when you're coaching, you can see the difference in their bodies pretty much every day, and you see the gains, and then when in class it's not a voluntary setting and there's so many other layers of BS going on, and you don't always see it, but what I learned was if I honored even the dumbest thing, even if it's a kid that never puts their name on something suddenly putting their name on something as dumb as that, seemingly insignificant as that, the growth can occur from there, even if it's you give them an assignment and they do a terrible job, and then you go over it with them again and they do a slightly less terrible job. Well, at least it was slightly less terrible, and even though there's still other layers of bullcrap that are preventing them from giving their best effort, you chipped away that far, then let's chip away some more. That seems to work a lot better than just being demanding. And that's what sucks, is you're caught between so many paradigms of different people in the building. And I'm really sick of people who it's just my way or the highway, or I hung the sign in size 8 font outside my door, you were supposed to read it. that kind of thing. Like, no, that doesn't really honor the individuals or the efforts that they make, and it pisses me off because it just makes them less likely to try when I'm going overboard. So, I don't know. It just really, you're just caught between other people's nonsense most of the time.
So this school has like a really strong community in terms of the English department. Do you think that's like common in other schools?
No, most of my friends like really don't like their coworkers and avoid them. They have like some friends, but not like the whole department. Like I have a lot of personal issues with a lot of like even my like closer coworkers, but we've learned to not let that like really affect like work. So yeah, but most of my friends really, they have a couple friends, but not like this, and they definitely don't work well together, and there's a lot of politics and stuff like that, and most of that is absent.
Do you think it benefits the students when the whole English department is on the same page?
Totally, because they can see that you're friends and you're happier, and like people are supportive of one another. Like if if I worked in another school and there was like just dumb politics, and say some terrible thing happened and I needed to leave immediately, there would be no issue of somebody being here with the kids in a second and being like, well, what are you guys working on? And at least they probably wouldn't try that hard, but at least for a minute they would make it seem like they cared and try to keep the kids going, whereas at another place they'd be like, I'm only here because I have to be, so F this, right? Or even trying to sabotage you. You should hear the stories that my friends tell me from other schools. It's terrible. So, yeah.
What advice can you give me as a student teacher that'll help me with my November unit with next semester?
Just overplan. Have more options at your disposal than you think you need. Because if you have less, you're just going to be sitting there like, oh, what do I do now? Whereas if you have more, it's just more that you can pull out of your, whatever you want to call your arsenal at any moment, to use a terrible metaphor. Because then you're approaching it from like where you would be in your second or third year, where you've tried 3 different ways of approaching it, and you can use all of them at once or none of them at once. Just don't, even if you're frustrated, don't really show it, because like it comes off as weakness usually. If you're gonna show frustration, do it like honestly, not with anger, I guess, because that doesn't usually work either. It just shuts people down. You can, I don't know, like you really have to pick and choose where to exhibit that aspect. And I definitely do sometimes, but it's like calculated, and I don't know if it's effective or not. I just don't care anymore. So, those would be don't let it show that anything is getting to you. Like a lot of the time, if they see that most stuff rolls off your back, they stop trying to fuck with you and start worrying about what you're trying to get them to do, because they're teenagers. They want to entertain themselves and try to show you how witty they are. So,
have you ever had a lesson just totally bomb?
Yeah, every week. I mean, every week there's something. Right now I have no idea what I'm doing in second period, right now I feel like third and fifth, they're not progressing as fast as I hoped they would through the play, and then the lenses, like I realized what I should have done was like taught each one explicitly through some other medium first, instead of trying to lump that all together. I mean, it's not going terrible, but it could have gone better. Seventh period, I have no idea what I'm doing right now. The only problem is that after X many years, you learn to just like keep rolling and make it seem like everything is fine. So, there's always something that goes poorly once a week. Sure, probably not the whole period. and you just, a lot of time you just take a step, but Monday, 5th period, I just stopped and was thinking, like observing the kids, they would not shut up, they would not stop talking at all, and it was just like every time I opened my mouth, it's almost like they tried harder to like piss me off, and I finally just sat down. I was like, all right, well this is, due in a couple minutes, and I sat down, and then a couple kids observing, they're like, you're making a seating chart, aren't you? I was like, yeah, because like I realized like this is just y'all's personalities, like you guys are just like rude. Okay, cool, like be rude. Okay, that's fine, but you're not going to do it sitting next to other people that encourage it anymore. I said, okay, you guys want to get me seats now or tomorrow? And like they just kind of sat there, and one kid goes, let's just get them now. I said, all right, fine. And I just walked around real fast and said, just slapped the desk and said the name, came back up and stood here and was like, they were already all in their seats. And I was like, I don't know how that happened. And the whole, we'd wasted 30 minutes at that point, and it had completely gone to shit. But,
did Tuesday go smoother? Do you have them on Tuesdays?
Yeah, yesterday. Yeah, they were a little better yesterday, yeah. They still just don't shut up. And I think their brains are just partially fried at that point in the day, too. I hate afternoons. Like, the last period of the day sucks. Like, I would hate having a real class 7th period. That's also why they're just useless. Well, that and, like, I mean, a lot of those kids that's just how they are in class. Like, they make fine grades, but they're just useless in class. Like, they don't exhibit anything. So, like, I taught most of them at one point, and they just, like, they try as students, but they don't do it, like, in a group of 30. So.
Do you try to avoid seating charts, or?
Yeah, I hate all that. Like, it's, yeah. Yes, I try to avoid it, but if it's necessary, it's necessary, so. And then, like, look, I assign them seats, and then you watch what they do. Tomorrow they'll come in and say, oh, my laptop's dead, and try to sit near their friend. That's exactly what they'll do. And there's all, it's just a constant chess game, and they're the ones that initiate it, and like they're supposed to. They're adolescents. That's like what you do in that time period.
What do you think the best way to handle it is?
Just tell them no. Just say no. Don't do that. And then if they argue with you, just move on. It's not worth like a power struggle.
You're pretty understanding of kids having personal lives too, which I think is pretty rare. I don't think a lot of teachers like recognize that kids have lives outside of school.
I mean, you need to be, so that they feel like if they communicate with you that you'll be flexible, but you can't be so flexible. Like I was saying with the girl Abby, well, I had 2 softball games. You're still home by 8 o'clock. Like, I didn't even say that. I just said, like, you can't use sports as an excuse. Just get it done, though, please. I didn't threaten her with anything. I did go around and, like, check everything, and she was, very unhappy to be called out about anything. But the only thing that does anything sometimes is, like, they get the notification that there's a 0 and that their mother's going to see it, which isn't the teaching. That's the the world that they live in now. Instant feedback and gratification is the only thing that accomplishes anything sometimes. And for a while, I tried to fight that forever, but it makes a difference now. Like it's one of the only things that gets that 5th period to hand stuff in.
Really?
Yeah, unfortunately. In 2nd period, same thing. Like when they didn't do that pre-write thing, I went and put in 0. I haven't had an issue with kids not handing things in there since. Everything's been on time in there. And it's not like, oh, he doesn't play around. No, it's just like, there's only 23 of you. Why would I not be holding you guys accountable? It's not that hard. So, I'm sure I'll get lax on it at some point.
Do you have any last words? Cool. I think that's enough.
Awesome.